you just not breathe? Wait, okay, we had a setup that Emily was gonna breathe really heavy into the microphone and I was gonna do the Meryl Streep line, can you just not breathe? Is that what she said?
Yeah.
But I love that that is your interpretation of heavy breathing. It was like, I'm over here fully a mouth breathing 24/7. Like,
see, it's so funny because I've been told that I'm a real heavy breather, but you have a CPAP.
Yeah, I transcend the laws of heavy breathing. At one point, Meryl Streep in this movie is wearing like all of her nighttime face garters, basically to keep the skin in place. But one is this like strap, and that is for people who are mouth breathers to keep their mouth shut while they sleep. It's to cure. Yeah. Not cure sleep apnea, but like help with it. Yeah.
You got one of those?
I don't, because I wear the full get up.
Yeah.
But I was like sleep apneatic queen. Yeah. Meryl Streep representing for the mouth breathing community.
You felt really seen, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. But this is our podcast. It's The Swamp. It's an acronym.
Stands for Some Whack Ass Movie Podcasting. And today we're ringing in the new month. If anyone, I don't think anyone guessed it.
Actually, Ellen, that's not the truth. I have it pulled up. Listener Abby, at Abby Zur on Instagram, messaged us back in March and said, may I suggest MAYryl Streep? So this was before we even asked people to, like, guess what we were going to do. But
every May, we do a themed month for a specific actor, and we come up with one of the worst puns that we can possibly come up with.
I've got to say, I think that this is actually not the best as in best worst, but best as in best truly better than our previous puns, because our first one we did
Ewan McGregor month.
Ewan McGregor, that one was awful. Paul Mayno,
a little better.
Unforgivable, I think.
But now we're on to MAYryl Streep.
MAYryl Streep, I think it's our most successful pun yet.
I think my brother came up with that originally. Shout out to Ryan.
I believe so.
Yeah.
We both have brothers named Ryan. If you were able to pick up on that context clue, then you're a true listener, true fan. Really. But Death Becomes Her, 1992. Neither of us had ever seen this.
No. I remember just seeing, like, it looked campy and fun enough that I was like, okay, like, let's get into this. And it was decent. I wasn't mad about it, but I don't think I would ever watch it again. And I'm also glad that I watched it with someone.
Yeah, because I do think my phone, the TikTok would have
taken over.
Pulled me away, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
But I only knew the cover, the movie poster of her head backwards, and you know, that is very, very camp. And then they also reference this movie a lot on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes, yeah. I feel like it is a piece of queer cinema, and that's one of the other reasons that I wanted to watch it.
I wish that these queens came together sooner to maximize their joint slay, because I feel like where it was lacking for me a little bit was in the pacing, and there was a ton of stuff in the beginning that I'm like, give me less Bruce Willis and give me more of this Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep teaming up to like figure out how to be immortal together. Because I'm like, we could have done the first 2 acts maybe.
Yeah.
In like the first 20 minutes.
It should
speed that shit up and then give me the entire last 90 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Them together fanoogling, doing all the campy zombie lesbian stuff that I want.
Give me the hijinks. I want more of that. Less Bruce Willis. I've never really been a big Bruce Willis fan. Honestly, he's fine, and I think there's definitely some movies that he belongs in and he's perfectly cast for. But I don't know, this one didn't do it for me.
Yeah, he was not doing it for me, and I wish he had been more of a background character, because I didn't really care for his performance, but I also just didn't really care for the character at all. So even if it was somebody else, I wanted less of that whole storyline of like him in the hospital, and he's, where's Meryl Streep? And the doctor dies, and she's in the morgue. Like, cut that all out and then do the, like, my wife's gonna be so pissed you put her in the morgue line. Done. Yeah. You know, like, I just didn't need, there was a lot of weird pacing filler stuff for me.
Yes, absolutely. Entirely. I will say, though, the only thing that I did really love from his performance was his little R2-D2 screams. He had the most, like, girlish little high-pitched screams in this movie, and it was brilliant.
I felt like it was kind of a self-aware casting of this movie, because the whole thing is pretty campy, ironic, making fun of itself.
Yeah.
And casting Bruce Willis, who is like the hardest man known on the earth, to be this like little beta cuck, flaccid man. Was like obviously like a little self-aware casting choice.
Of
a little,
course.
haha, look at Bruce Willis being like a loser. Like, okay, I get that.
Yeah, it was giving really Brad Majors. Like, insanely. But do we want to get into the
recap?
plot? Yeah, a little plot summary?
I would say, like, you could, if you wanted to time me, I could do this in like 30 seconds. Like,
Okay.
Meryl Streep is, okay.
No, I'm gonna fully time you.
Okay. See, and this is when I'm gonna like, I'm
Okay.
gonna get
Ready?
really nervous. Okay.
Ready? Go.
Goldie Hawn, I'm not going to remember the characters' names, but Goldie Hawn is engaged to Bruce Willis. The two of them go to see her old friend who's on Broadway. Everyone's walking out because she's such a floozy, but the play is literally her being like, I'm such a floozy, so I don't really know why people were upset about it. But then she steals Bruce Willis away from Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn then wears a Shallow Hal-esque fat suit to depict 7 years later. She is having a mental breakdown. She's not paying her rent. And then she decides that in order to cure her own mental illness, she's going to kill Meryl Streep. So she gets skinny because obviously that's got to be part of the glow up, right? And then she like gets really skinny, writes a book, invites Meryl to the book release, tries to steal Bruce Willis back, and then they are going to try to kill Meryl Streep together. But then Meryl Streep gets the potion from Liesel von Roman or whatever.
Something like that.
Isabella Rossellini gives her the eternal life potion that makes your tits nicer and your face smoother and you live forever and you stop aging. Basically, it's Benjamin Button slayed. And then Meryl Streep obviously does it because she's obsessed with her appearance. She's an actress, but she can never be in the spotlight again. That's part of the clause of taking the potion. Bruce Willis tries to push her down the stairs. She falls down the stairs. She breaks her neck. He thinks she's dead. She's not dead because she can't die. And then it turns out Goldie Hawn also took the potion, so she can't die. So when Meryl Streep shoots her in the stomach, she doesn't die. And they're like, oh, we're zombie girlfriends now. But not really. It's still kind of tense. But then they're like, well, now Bruce Willis needs to take the potion so that we can all be eternal forever, so that he can paint us when we need to be painted.
Yeah, make us look real nice.
And then there's some hijinks at the party. Bruce Willis doesn't want to drink the potion. He doesn't want to live forever. He thinks he's going to get bored. He's right. And then he dies at the end, and he lived a happy life, and the two of them are miserable old hags.
1 minute and 46 seconds.
Damn, I really felt like I could have done that faster.
I mean, that's probably one of your fastest.
Truly.
Yeah. Sometimes there have been times where we've gone on 7-minute tangents.
Yeah. And this movie is not selling itself as like a tight plot, you know?
No.
It's like a comedy. It's
I would say it's fast and loose, but it's not even fast.
It's just
this
loose.
Movie could have been an hour long. They could have cut a, like, usually I'm like, oh, this could have been like a tight 90. This could have been a tight 60.
57.
Yeah, honestly.
The part of this movie that I think is the most fun and entertaining and engaging is the campery of it all. The sets.
Oh my god.
The sets are stupid. The costumes, amazing.
Yep.
Just random nuns floating at one point.
Oh my god.
What was that about? I don't know, but I loved it. I wanted more of that. I wish they dialed that up. And I wish that the dialogue also reflected a little bit more of that, like, over-the-top stupid. Because there were times when the characters were talking to each other, and it was just, like, a little too serious for me. I'm like, can this be a little more stupid? Can we be more stupid? Like Heathers, or, like, you just make up words. I don't know. Just add to that drama conflama of all of it.
Yeah, the stupidest it really got word-wise was when Meryl Streep just kept yelling flaccid at Bruce Willis.
Which did really do it for me. I'm not gonna lie.
See, what really did it for me, and I think this is what, like, at, like, the hard, like, 50-minute mark, things did start to, like, get the ball rolling a little bit more, and it did start to get a little goofier. Meryl Streep's little feet are, like, kicking, and they look like Mr. Krabs walking across, like, the ground.
I would say the 45 seconds it took her to fall down that singular flight of stairs was the best part of the whole movie.
I entirely agree.
That they just threw a mannequin down and just, like, spliced together several takes of this mannequin falling down the stairs and then just ended on Meryl Streep on the ground. Bring more of that. Bring more practical effects into film, because I want it to look bad.
Yeah, actually.
Did you know this movie won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects?
It was 1992, so that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But, like, now I love it because it's so bad. Like, the shitty-looking lightning.
I think it was on purpose to add to the ambiance.
I would hope so.
But it was good bad. Or bad good.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. One thing that I will say that I think came from this movie was, I think it was a precursor to a lot of other Meryl Streep movies. I think that the way she worked herself around that boa in the first opening number just really set her up to succeed in Mamma Mia. Especially her vocals. It really, set her up well. And also for her playing the bitch with the white hair.
Yep.
Just super Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, yeah. This is basically the Miranda Priestley
pipeline.
Yeah, or like, what is it, prequel movie.
Yeah, I would say so.
This is like dead Meryl Streep had a quick stint as the CEO of Vogue in this timeline, you know?
It would make sense to me.
But that was a masterclass in, like, boa-ography.
Dude, she was working her way around it.
And she was wearing it. It was not wearing her.
No.
Which is tough with a boa.
It had a mind of its own, dude. And she managed gracefully.
Oh, I want, you know, like the
Harry Styles could never.
The worm on a string.
Yeah.
But I want a huge one to wear as a boa.
I have a huge one.
You should wear that as a boa more
It's
often.
not quite limp enough, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, you could absolutely make that. I think you should make that, actually.
Put like a little string on the end and then have somebody like pull the giant worm around my body. Mm-hmm. That could be a Met Gala look. We were saying that the Isabella Rossellini character, who's basically the keeper of the eternal life potion, that her costumes were just
immaculate.
Peak fucking. We're like, oh, that is so like Met Gala. And it's actually in real time. I think this will come out on Wednesday, so it will have been this past Monday.
Yes.
And so tell me what your thoughts were. I think obviously the Met Gala has been in a pretty steady decline over the past handful of years of just like, I like Anna Wintour's thought of like no more Kardashians. Yeah. Not that I have anything personally against the Kardashian, but like invite people who are going to follow the theme.
Yeah.
And not just wear what they want to wear to like flex. I don't know.
I will say, I will give it to Kim for her last look when it was just her in like the entirely black, like, it was like a morph suit almost.
Oh,
because it was American fashion and all that. And
but wasn't that the same night she like wore and broke the Marilyn Monroe dress?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't recall.
Because sometimes they wear multiple outfits. They wear like one on the carpet, then one inside at the party or something. But I could be wrong about all that. But I think this year's theme is like just Karl Lagerfeld, right?
I think so.
I think that's just the theme, which is pretty boring to me.
Yeah.
Like, okay. It's like the life and legacy of Karl Lagerfeld. Like whatever.
Yeah. It's just really ever since Heavenly Bodies nothing. Yeah.
It's because Rihanna hasn't been there since. Because camp could have been really good, but I just think celebrities are stupid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would pick. Maybe just the word mermaids.
Mm.
Or
just to have Florence Welch show up.
Yep. Or I don't know. I'd have to sit on it.
Yeah. Everyone let us know. If you have a better idea for a Met Gala theme, message us on Instagram. Give us your thoughts.
But Isabella Rossellini is wearing this necklace that as a top, she's basically wearing like the Forever 21 chunky necklace that we all wore like to the first day of sixth grade. Yeah. And it's just, she's wearing it as a top and you cannot find her nipples.
Yeah.
They've been sanded off. Because
she's a Barbie.
Her nipples must be so small, and they just pasty glued two of those turquoise,
just two rhinestones
over them because it's indetectable. I mean, I'm sure she like has pasties on or whatever, but it's just amazing. Mm-hmm. And then she somehow then tops it, in my opinion, with the big like over the head exaggerated collar look. Yeah, with like the plunging neckline.
It's giving Star Wars. It's giving Padme Amidala.
Oh yes. Yeah. Ooh, Star Wars prequels. That as a Met Gala theme. But specifically the prequels.
Yeah.
Or I love the TikTok sound that's going around right now of the Cantina band with the frog lady who's singing.
Yeah. And can you do it?
Absolutely not. But it's like everyone like... But But everyone's like opening their freezer and like inside a bag of chicken tenders is this like frog with these lips. Henry was like, do you know her name? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh, I do. I know her name and her race and the names and races of all the people in the Cantina band. And I was like, okay, Henry.
I want to know her name.
Actually, I'll just go get him now.
Oh my God.
Okay, her name is Cy Snoodles, and her race is that she's a Powlick. Women's stories matter.
Yeah.
Insert that gif of Reese Witherspoon being like, women's stories matter. I applied to work for her production company. Mm-hmm. And they didn't hire me.
Yeah.
They interviewed me, but they did not hire me.
Tragic. I'm so glad that she's finally getting the spotlight she deserves.
Of course.
Yeah. I support women's rights. And much like this movie, I also support women's wrongs.
God forbid women have hobbies. Because really? Goldie Hawn just making it her
lifelong, her passion project to murder Meryl Streep.
But I like how basically on a dime, she's willing to just get rid of that whole idea and move on. Because she's like, wait, instead of killing you, now we're gonna rule the world together. And basically. You basically said, like, that's how, like, two friends who are fighting will just make up and act like nothing happened.
This is, like, they've been fighting for, like, 14 years straight or something like that. And they basically realize that they're kind of fucked. And now that they're both dead, and they just go up to Bruce Willis and they're like, hey, bestie, this is my new bestie. And it just reminds me a lot of, like, I don't know, any female fighting with her sibling, or like her sister, usually it's like bloodbath, like mental warfare, like you have never been tormented this way in your life. And then within a matter of like 3 minutes tops, you guys are back to being best friends. It's the exact same vibe.
It's about finding a common enemy, I think, because once you can realize that you can stop being mad at each other and redirect that rage together at somebody else is really the important lesson to learn.
That makes sense.
If any of y'all out there are in a very specific throuple, I think that this would be a hilarious Halloween costume. If you're in a throuple of, like, basically, I think you can work some wigs. I was gonna say it's like a hair color situation, but really, you can make it work, I think.
Absolutely, you can make it work. Speaking of Goldie Hawn's passion project, though, I'd like to talk about how this must have been Robert Zemeckis. How do you say his name? Zemeckis. This must have been his passion project.
Well, his lineup is so weird because there's a few that stand out as just not making any sense because he is known for doing all of the Back to the Future movies as well as Forrest Gump, Castaway. Well, there are a couple other, like, real heavy hitters that he has. But this movie is kind of odd. And then I also think he did Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah. That seems like another, like, I think this man had a secret zest for campery, and he only lets it out, once every decade. Yeah.
Well, it's the fact that he also directed Forrest Gump.
Makes no sense.
Nope. Contact.
Oh, Contact. That's the other one. I'm like, what? I never knew that Jodie Foster's performance in Contact was led by the same director who gave us Run, Forrest, Run. Like, that just is wild to me.
The Polar Express as well.
Oh, that makes sense. He's clearly a Tom Hanks guy.
Beowulf.
Did
Beowulf. Yeah, all the Back to the Future. The movie Flight, where Denzel Washington plays an alcoholic
but then he lands the plane so good that they can't tell him he's not allowed to drink on the job.
Basically, yeah.
Which
the New Witches movie, which makes sense. This paired with the New Witches movie, it makes sense.
Did you see it? Did anyone see it? All I saw on my Twitter was just how bad it was.
So I've been getting into the whole of when TikTok accounts will just post like multiple just clips from these movies so that I never have to watch them. So I watched like probably like 15 minutes of this movie all spliced together.
All spliced next to somebody speedrunning Subway Surfers.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like making slime.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how we're gonna get Gen Z to watch movies now.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the only way. But yeah, so I saw some of it, looked pretty fucked. Have to say though, I think Annie Hathaway still 8.
Okay, I was gonna say if they did her dirty, they just did her dirty with that whole situation.
Yeah, they made her look absolutely freaky and fucked.
I like the Old Witches movie.
I love it. Angelica Houston. Oh,
I made my book club watch that, and all the other girlies were scared.
I'm sure
we were in like 3rd grade.
That makes so much sense.
And Jen was like, I had like had the reputation of like making everyone do the scary thing. Which how was I supposed to know that people were gonna cry when Whoopi Goldberg came up as the Cheshire Cat in the TV series run of Alice in Wonderland? Like, I'm sorry, I just didn't anticipate that being troubling for you. But here I am. I guess I'm the bad guy for putting it on.
Sorry, I'm trying to show you cinema.
Sorry, I'm trying to culture all of you.
My bad.
Girlies who kept picking horse books. I literally had to quit my little 3rd grade book club because I'm like, I can't read another book about a horse that goes to war.
Yeah. I don't even want to know how many American Girl doll little books you read.
Oh, well, that was by choice. Those books all slayed. That's American history, baby. Or world history, even. Well, no, they all immigrated to America at some point in their stories.
So they gave you a bit of background.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I learned more through the American Girl doll books than I did throughout all of elementary school history class. Truly. And I learned more about my own body and sexual education through
the care and keeping of you.
Yep.
Slay. Do they have like an updated version, do you think, for like the young woke girlies, for the young woke millennial moms to give to their babies?
I would think so. Now,
I would say it was already pretty woke for back in the day, but I bet American Girl doll was blazing trails, setting names. But it's the American education system is that they looked at all of the American Girl dolls and then they just picked Felicity and they said, you're gonna read the Felicity books 27 times and never any of the other ones. Speaking of movies that scared me as kids, though, the Samantha movie opens with a child getting their fingers sucked into a sewing machine, like in a factory, and like child labor laws.
I don't remember that. I remember. I don't know whose it was, but like her grandpa died, like choking in front of her or some shit.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it's all the same to me.
But I was always like had this lifelong fear that my fingers were going to get sucked into a sewing machine, even though I was never in a situation where that was.
And now you are in the situation with sewing machines. How do you feel?
True. I'm still bad at it. I love to craft, but I do injure myself with every craft.
I'm sure.
I don't.
Your hot glue burns must be brutal.
I don't practice safe gluing. It's just, I kind of like that it covers my skin, then I get to peel it off, but like it does take the upper dermis layer with it, kind of deal. Yeah.
You can only hot glue like once every month.
I'm out here looking like MAYryl Streep at the end of this movie with just like chunky, crusty flakes just coming off. Honestly, I would be super into like the two of them, their relationship, that they could just go about the rest of their days like picking and peeling each other.
Oh, can we do that instead?
Just like pop each other's weird dry skin for all of eternity. Yeah. Bruce Willis is like, what if I get bored? I'm like, dude, you are going to have so much like shellacking to do.
For real. Yeah, no.
And he seems to take pride in his work as well.
Yeah. I never understood people like picking at other people's like acne and stuff like that until I got into like a true relationship. And now I'm sitting there, I'm like, I get it now. Yep. I get it. I was always like, ew, oh God. Like, I would never. No, I will.
It's like in the relationship, which one of you.
Let me look at your forehead.
Which one of you opens the oven door and which one of you says, close the oven door, you're letting all the heat out.
I'm the one opening it.
It's same. But in that same vein, it's like, who's the picker and who's the person begrudgingly getting picked?
Yeah. We are also the same person in that sense. Yeah. Maya has, like, beautiful, gorgeous, like, takes amazing care of their skin, and I'm sitting there, I'm, like, in their mirror, like, like, doing an entire dissection of my nose.
If you ever want to feel, like, dysphoric about the texture of your skin, go to a Marshall's and just, you don't even actually have to try on the clothes, but the lighting and the Marshall's try-on rooms.
Oh my God, perfect.
Blasts you. You can see every pore. I'm like, I've got my extraction tools in my tote bag. I'm just kidding. I don't do that.
No, but I'm certainly in there for like 10 minutes longer than I need to.
I come out, I'm all like swollen and puffy.
Yeah.
Bleeding a little bit.
Yeah. It lets you get to the little blackheads that you never realized. Yeah. Maybe I'll stop there after this. Suddenly I have an itch that I need to scratch.
I know, I'll give you a pair of tweezers. You can like get the brows while you're in there as well.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you.
But like as a person who loves esthetician TikTok, I would just have had a field day. Me and the dead bestie just getting to
pick at each other.
Go to town.
Oh my god, yeah, now that it's like turning to summer and I get to peel my skin whenever I get a sunburn.
This is turning into
disgusting.
This is turning into like this is a different kind of body horror. is what we're describing. Bum, 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 bum. Jen, back again from a premature early retirement, sabbatical. Hiatus, if you will. We had there were technical issues and then there were timing issues, but I will confidently say that this month, Chocolate or Vanilla is back for real, For all you CRV stans who missed it the past couple of weeks, Jen is back. Jen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm fine.
Lovely.
I'm full of Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. Ooh. Butter pecan is back as well, if you weren't aware. This is not sponsored, but Dunkin' really wanted me to know that this morning. But Jen is
that
here.
What you got?
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
Jen is here to host her interim podcast segment to say two things. We all say which one we like better. Is there a theme this week?
There is a theme, but first I'm thinking about butter pecan coffee. What would be the difference between pecan coffee and butter pecan coffee?
Well, they don't call it pecan ice cream.
Oh. Okay, I get you. Yeah. So, any pecan flavor?
I feel like pecan is like synonymous with butter pecan. Like you never just find it like one, which it's basically just pecan flavored, but they throw the butter in there to make it sound a little.
No, it's not even pecan flavored. It's just a different variation of like sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one pump of pecan syrup and one pump of butter syrup.
Butter syrup.
Not even butter syrup, just butter.
Well, that's like
one pump of movie theater butter.
The olive oil coffee that they're serving now at Starbucks.
I did not know about this until you were telling me the other day.
Shitting their brains out. Like, yeah, dude, you're putting like two diuretics together. Duh.
What did you think was gonna happen?
So trendy.
Yeah. If it was a brown butter though that they put in the coffee, I might actually, you know what? I might actually want that.
Little brown butter in the affogato with the ice cream with the little brown butter sauce in there. Emily, let's open a restaurant.
What's an affogato?
No.
Affogato is a scoop of vanilla ice cream that you pour an espresso shot over it, and it basically makes like the most delicious coffee milkshake ice cream thing.
Wait, why am I gonna do that later? Oh my god, Dara, you just did something.
So there is a theme, and it is movies and music of the 90s.
90s.
Yeah, because this movie is from the 90s.
1992.
Yes. So chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. And Shawshank Redemption or Pulp Fiction?
Ooh, both are good, but I think Pulp Fiction is like just better.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pulp Fiction on this one. It just keeps my brain moving a little more.
I feel like Shawshank Redemption is one of those movies that, like, if somebody told me it was their favorite movie, I guess I wouldn't have anything to, like, refute them, but I'd be like, that's the most boring choice.
Yeah.
That's, like, the most... That's like saying, like, Forrest Gump is your favorite movie. Like, okay. Right.
So you've never seen any other movie.
So you don't have a personality, is what I'm hearing.
Well, so I am going to pick Shawshank. It's not my favorite movie, but I am going to pick Shawshank. I thought that one would be tougher for you to choose between.
You don't like violence.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Pulp Fiction is mega violence.
Yeah.
So for music, 1 Week by Bare Naked Ladies or Peace Train by 10,000 Maniacs.
I don't know if I know the second one. I do know.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I'm going to go for, the Bare Naked Ladies one.
These are both hard for me. All right, I'm just going to pick Peace Train because now I want Dara to listen to this song. I think you would like it. It's got a good vibe.
All 90s things. That's what the 90s is about, Jen.
It's just good vibes. Yeah. The vibes were almost too good.
I graduated college in 90, so my post-college years
and
were 90s.
Emily and I were born in
at the end.
At the very end, so all of this is, I wasn't there.
I've heard great things.
Next one for movies, Men in Black or Independence Day.
Oh, Men in Black, I think.
Yeah.
That's at least just like a little more fun.
It's just a feel good. Yeah, exactly. I can see some funky looking aliens.
That shot with the fly, and the fly is flying, and you're following the flying fly, and then it gets splatted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Men in Black.
Okay, I'm going to go Independence Day, also some messed up looking aliens. Next one, Shoop by Salt and Pepper or No Scrubs by TLC.
Oh my god, I put the song Shoop on. I was in charge of making the playlist for a work summer party, and I put that song on it, and they say the R word that we're not supposed to say anymore to describe people with disabilities, and
that song has the R word in it.
Oh yeah, it's in a bad way, and so I just wasn't even thinking about it. I'm talking to my boss, and I see two people like sprint over to the little DJ station, and I'm like, what has got that in a tizzy? And I'm like, oh no, they're trying to change the song before they said the R word, and then I felt really bad.
Oh, so they preemptively like knew it was coming.
Oh, it's still played. Like they didn't get to it in time.
Yeah,
but I felt like it was a big blunder on my part. But I'll pick No Scrubs by TLC. No trauma there.
Yeah, I'm also going to go for No Scrubs by TLC.
Yeah, I'm going to go No Scrubs too. Same thing though, we put like Friday mixes on sometimes, and some songs you forget that they have a couple words or a phrase, and we're always like, oh, I know that is going to be the one moment when the CEO is walking through our department.
When it goes dead silent too.
Yeah, exactly. Next one, Edward Scissorhands or 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, this is hard. I know Edward Scissorhands is probably like objectively a better film, but I have way more nostalgia for 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah. There's this tweet going around right now that's like, what's the hottest anyone has ever looked in a movie? And people are like giving their answers. And I think Heath Ledger in that movie is like Julia Roberts' Pretty Women, fucking Marissa Tomei in Better Call Vinny. Oh my god.
My Cousin Vinny.
Better Call My Cousin Vinny. And Heath Ledger and 10 Things I Hate About You are the three right answers.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like I saw Edward Scissorhands once when I was like 11 years old, and I've never seen it again, kind of. So I'm just gonna have to pick 10 Things I Hate About You because I simply can't remember.
Yeah, I love 10 Things I Hate About You. One of my faves. When you said hottest ever, I thought you were gonna say Julia Stiles in that movie. I think she was super
also
hot.
Dancing on that table.
Yeah. Next one, Crash Into Me by Dave Matthews Band or Mbop by Hanson.
I'm definitely gonna go for the Mbop.
See, if you asked me this a year ago, I would have gone for Mbop. But the amount of times that Mbop has played in the Trader Joe's in the last, 9 months that I've worked there.
Gives you trauma.
Yeah, I can't. It's always at like the worst time. Like I'm at my most frustrated and like pissed off. And I just do Mbop. And I can't cope.
Your fingers are turning blue from restocking the orange chicken. You're like, I'm not feeling Mbop.
Yeah. No one's Mbopping in this store right now. So I'll go with whatever Dave Matthews song that is.
Crash Into Me. I'm going to pick that one too because Darren Criss has a wicked good cover of it too.
I'm sure.
Oh my God.
Has covered everything. Next one for movies, Matrix or Fargo?
Oh, fuck, Jen. Oh, they're both so good. I'll say The Matrix, though.
I haven't seen The Matrix, which I know is really messed up of me. And I do like Fargo, but I don't love Fargo. And I think that when I do eventually get around to The Matrix, I'm like gonna preemptively pick it.
Yeah.
Because I think it'll be better for me in my I'm gonna go for The Matrix.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna pick Matrix. I thought these were both like I was surprised they were 90s, but Matrix is 99 and Fargo is 96.
Why you felt like they were like 2000s?
I thought they were 2000s.
Later? Okay.
Yeah, in my head. But next song is Wonderwall by Oasis or Just a Girl by No Doubt.
Oh, Just a Girl by No Doubt.
Yeah, Just a Girl. Have you heard Florence and the Machine recently did a cover of it?
So good.
Yeah, for the new season of Yellow Jackets, which I also hear is amazing. But yeah, so good. It's made me like renaissance back like into that song.
Yeah, no doubt for sure. And I definitely am going to put that on my covers playlist now. I'm going to have to go
it's
listen
really
to it.
good.
Florence has got a lot of good covers. She's got a Stand By Me cover.
That one
amazing.
Yeah.
Outstanding, yeah.
Let's see. Next one, last movie one is Goodfellas or Good Will Hunting.
Never seen Goodfellas. but I fucking hate Good Will Hunting. I fucking hate that movie. I think it's stupid and bad, and I don't like it.
Does it have anything to do with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck?
A little bit.
Does it really grind your gears that they won an Oscar for it?
It's more just like they're like the accent is bad, and it's just like about like how toxic men don't want to go to therapy. And how about them apples?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Watching him destroy women like emotionally.
Yeah, not for me. And just like the stupid like he's the janitor who can do math. Ugh. I've never even seen Goodfellas, but I'll pick it.
I'm gonna pick Goodfellas because I want to eat that pasta with the garlic sliced so thin.
Oh, with the razor?
Yeah, with the razor.
I do know that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Goodfellas.
Nice. I'm gonna pick Goodfellas too. And very last one for songs: "Wannabe" by Spice Girls or "Genie in a Bottle" by Xtina.
It's crazy. I didn't realize like how much people from the UK still just like that the Spice Girls are their like pillar of culture over there until watching RuPaul's Drag Race UK, where it's like every other cultural reference is something about the Spice Girls. Maybe it's an LGBT thing though, so I don't want to speak for all of Great Britain, but they do be loving the Spice Girls over there.
Yeah.
But I'll pick Wannabe for sure.
Absolutely Wannabe. Yeah. No contest.
Same. I think Wannabe is iconic, so I will pick that, and that is 90s. Chocolate or vanilla.
But Jen, as always, thank you so much, and we will see you again next week.
Love you guys. Have a great day.
Bye. Bye. I will say, though, the moments in this movie where her neck is breaking over and over and she's just, like, readjusting it are visually very stimulating and pleasing to me. Like, there's one where her head, like, retreats into her shoulders, like, as if she's the head of an uncircumcised penis. And it just is like, yeah, I also want that to happen to me, and then ring it out. Like, it's like, you know those little they're kind of like they're like stim toys almost, but also they kind of like make a good sound if you pull them apart. They're these tubes, yes,
and they all click together, and then they go as you open it up and all that shit, and you can spin it around, and it'll make a good wooing sound. One of those. I wish I could take all of the bones out of my body and do that with them, and then put them back in. just swing them around a little bit. I think about sometimes anyone that's worked a job putting things on shelves or whatever has worked with a baler basically, and this definitely is an original thought, but the thought of for a split second, if you put yourself inside of it, that would feel so good to just crack all of your bones. But then the next second is I've made a horrible mistake. Yeah. My eyes are being squished shut in my head, but it felt really good for a hot sec. But I do feel like if I were given this mystical everlasting life potion, I also would just not actually kill, but fake kill myself on purpose, because I would be well, if I can't fucking die, I might as well go swim in some lava. I definitely want to try that out. My do you think you would just be sentient particles? Crispy particles. Maybe swimming in the lava is kind of extreme, but I think I would want to take the potion not for the youth or the everlasting life, but that I kind of do just want to jump out of a plane without a parachute, just to fucking see. Because you're the only person in the world who can do that. The thing. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because you still die. Yeah. But then my skin gets all crackly, which is kind of what I want in the first place. Okay, true. So you have ulterior motives here. Yeah. Got it. But I kind of also wish that this movie didn't do the ending of the big obvious thing that every eternal life plotline is of course it's bad. Yeah. You would never want to be alive forever. And eventually, you're, cheating the system. And the whole, Bruce Willis, cured his alcoholism and climbed Mount Everest and really seized the day until the end of his life. And, wasn't he so much better off? I'm no, I wanted this plot to go that these two queens just
continue to wreak havoc and be fabulous together and ride off into the sunset. Like, I don't want the moral clause. No. I'm not looking for that here. I want Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn looking hot and being bitches.
Absolutely. I could see them doing a remake of this movie.
Who would you cast?
Oh, God. Hunter Schafer, maybe?
Oh, as the Meryl? Or?
Yeah, I think. I don't know, actually. I think I'd like, because Hunter Schafer is so, like, blatantly hot. I'd like to see her be the Goldie character who's like real modest and like a little and like a little dorky and all that shit at first. And then you see how like hot she is.
Yeah.
And then Meryl, I don't know.
I feel like the big blockbuster answers are like you get Emma Stone as the Goldie Hawn, you get like Margot Robbie as but that's just a little too obvious. I think Florence Pugh could body either of these roles, but that's true of just anything.
I'd bring it back to Annie Hathaway. Because she does.
There's going to be a little bit of a weird age difference, though, between
Hunter
Schafer and Anne Hathaway.
Not Hunter Schafer. I'm scrapping Hunter Schafer.
Okay.
Because I think she is too young for this. I do need, like, what about, like, a Jessica Chastain? Jessica Chastain and Annie Hathaway.
Oh, now you're cooking, Emily. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could really see. And then who do we want the, like, bumbling man to be? James Marsden. Done.
Yeah, perfect. Literally perfect.
All right. We're calling up their agents. We're making it happen. And we are rewriting the script. I want the same costumes. I want the same set. I want
take away the fat suit. I want her to still be deranged. But I don't need that easy gimmick.
And this really is what gave this movie's, like aging or, like, dating, I guess, away for me, is that all of it feels very hokey and fun, but on purpose. But the thing that was hokey and kind of gross, that was like, it is 1992, was, like, the way that they expressed that she was, like, mentally in a bad place was that she was overweight and had a bunch of cats.
Yeah.
What is this, like, stereotype of, like, unhinged woman loves cats? Yeah. Like, that is such I think, wouldn't be seen as much today because it's just been overdone, like, to the point of just, it's insufferable.
Exactly.
But I was like, yeah, that's just not creative to me. And there are so many things about this movie that are, like, creative and interesting that I'm like, you couldn't have found a better way to portray that she's, she's down in the dumps.
She's just not feeling herself.
And the whole scene of, like, her at the psych ward, like, getting bullied by the therapist. That too was also just like, okay, I didn't need it.
I didn't need that, but I do think it's funny that when she brought up she brought up Meryl Streep's name or something like that, and everyone else in the psych ward just went insane because it's the only thing she's talked about for 6 months straight. Yeah, that I thought was actually funny though, because that's how my therapist feels sometimes when I keep going back to the same thing.
Like, not this
give
again.
it a rest.
But that's what I mean is that whole sequence took about 7 minutes, and you could have pared it down to that one punchline. I didn't need the minutes and minutes of setup of her getting dragged from her apartment. I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
give me everyone's annoyed that she is at the support group talking about Meryl Streep again. Done. You've made your point. And yeah, just the outdatedness of, like, equating weight gain to, like, mental health decline. It's like, all right, over it. But, 1992, so.
But are we over talking about this movie?
A little bit. I pulled some questions.
Okay.
Some outstanding questions from, these are probably, like, really old. I'm sure these people actually don't even remember sending these in, but I think a handful of times we've said on our Instagram that people should send in questions, and these are some ones that we did not pick to answer in the past, but I thought were still very good. So at Adigan.Nash says, opinions on pickles.
Love pickles. See, I love a pickle.
You're a pickle girly and I'm not, and I'm really hoping, I'm working on that my next like development of taste buds. I want to like things that have like vinegar and like mustard, like mustardy things and pickly things. I just, my taste buds do not jive with them, but I'm working on it. But I don't fuck with the pickle, and I wish I did.
Well, you better figure it out, because as much as we've joked about it, the swamp is doing its tiniest world tour.
And by a world tour,
we mean we're going to Copenhagen. So if any
we're going to Copenhagen so that I can go to the door of and personally apologize to all of the listeners who lived there who had to correct me when I said that they were speaking Dutch and not Danish when we covered another round. Like, that is just a fundamental fact that they should not even let me into that country for making that mistake. I've got my Duolingo downloaded now, though.
Yeah.
Everyone there mostly speaks English, though, so I think it'll be fine. But we're going to Denmark, so if anybody has some hot travel tips, if you're from that area, let us know.
Yeah.
We're going, though, because I'm fucking unhinged. And I was, the Ticketmaster scalpers really have been getting to the girlies, and they've been getting the tickets, and they've been jacking up the prices, and I wanted to go see my favorite band. They're coming to my home city, basically, like where I would reasonably go to see any concert. And the Ticketmaster scalpers, even though I had the fucking pre-sale code,
dude, they ate you up.
They ate me up, and the tickets I wanted ended up being like $400, and I'm like, I'm not paying for that. So then I looked at all the other American cities, and they had gotten to them too, but then I looked, they didn't get to the European cities, because guess what? Those venues don't go through Ticketmaster. Fucking shocker. And so the tickets were like $60, and I was like, it'll cost me less to buy a flight to Denmark and this ticket to the Copenhagen show, so I just did it, because fuck Ticketmaster. Yeah. And now we're going on a Copenhagen vacation. So. Yeah,
so give us all of your recommendations.
Yes.
We'd love to know, so that we don't look like idiot American tourists.
That's probably going to be the case anyways, but.
Yeah, but give us like a fighting chance, guys. But anyways.
At Zoe is fine. Said,
love this.
Muppetify any movie.
First of all, Zoe, love you. This is just a listener who has, I'm the biggest fan of her relationship.
I love, if you guys don't think when you, like, send us stuff that we stalk you back.
I stalk the fuck out of all of you.
I'm like, damn, you seem kind of cool. Why are you listening to my podcast?
Yeah, no. No, this is just a girly pop who, like, I've just ended up chatting to, who's listened to the pod. And she's just cool as fuck.
So they want to know if we could Muppetify any movie. I'm sure we've answered something similar in the past, but I love to think about this given the opportunity. I mean, the obvious answer is Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
I want a full Muppet, except maybe we'll keep Frankenfurter as human, or maybe we'll keep Brad and Janet as humans, you know, depending on which way you want to go.
If I'm still on my kick from the last month, if you do Moonstruck.
Oh my god.
But who do you keep?
Cher as herself.
I don't know. I think you keep Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god.
Oh god, there's so many good options. Jesus Christ. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Wait, no, that's disrespectful. I feel like maybe any Wes Anderson could be really fun to put the Muppets in a super, like, highbrow aesthetic scene, like do Grand Budapest Hotel, but with Muppets, but keep the, like, super clean aesthetic of it all.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Oh, also, I know people on Twitter before have said, like, Glass Onion and Knives Out. To incorporate some Muppets in there, I think is...
I think I'd like to see the Bling Ring Muppetified. Or, like, James Bond. If you did Skyfall.
Oh, yeah.
Scott Pilgrim.
Pride and Prejudice, but you keep Mr. Darcy.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
We could go on forever. I think we could have an entire podcast where we just say names of movies and then go, oh, add the Muppets!
Personally, I'd really like to see Stick It.
But the
only one that's not a Muppet is Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, the coach. I would also say, like, in the way that they just threw a mannequin down a flight of stairs in this movie, I just want them to throw the Muppets through the air to do the gymnastics routines. And then you just get Kermit sticking it, but, like, it was just flying through the air.
Yeah. Muppets Limp Corpse is, like, one of the funniest things.
And then... one more. I think this is kind of applicable to this movie. Sophia Dupree says a movie trope you are sick of or think is redundant. Because I think we were just talking about like fat suits and like Crazy Cat Lady. I'm over. I would say the one that comes immediately to my mind is biopics about musicians where the only plot line is that their manager is evil.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the evil manager thing. I know that that's, like, probably true of a lot of musicians' stories, but I don't want to fucking see it again. It's boring. And I hate it.
Honestly, I feel like the dramatic, like, space movie.
Oh, we've had enough. We've had enough of those.
I really don't care. It's too much. And maybe that's just because I've been seeing, like, The Martian pop up on my TikTok feed. And I just can't take it.
Why? Because you hate Matt Damon?
Yeah. But it's just, come on.
I saw a tweet that was like, you should replace Matt Damon in every movie with Jesse Plemons.
Yes.
And I was like, absolutely.
An amazing movie.
Yeah, just
phenomenal.
Somebody said he looks like if Philip Seymour Hoffman and Matt Damon fused together. Yeah. And that's Jesse Plemons. But they're like, just put him in stuff instead of Matt Damon. And it was like, so true.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to get into our regularly scheduled programming?
Absolutely. So this is an easy fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah, because we got
a main three.
3 main characters. Although the sexiest and most desirable character only makes a few fleeting appearances, but we will not include Miss Necklace Titties.
Ugh, I wish.
But we've got Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, Bruce Willis.
You gotta kill Bruce Willis.
So easy, you gotta kill Bruce Willis. And then I think it's just sort of like the lesser of two evils between these two girlies.
I think marry Goldie Hawn because I couldn't deal with Meryl. She's too up there for me. If I was dead, I'd join their throuple.
Yeah, true. Would you do the maintenance and the upkeep for her?
I think I would have to be able to set a limit. I would have to set a boundary, but yes.
Would you do the potion too, or would you be like, I'll just do your maintenance until the end of my days? Because it's very a Twilight thing, you know? They can't date if she's going to keep aging.
I think I would... I guess I'd have to do the potion. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I'll agree with you because Meryl Streep seems like irredeemably a bad person from the beginning, whereas Goldie Hawn has her highs and her lows. And we see that she was at one point maybe a reasonable and redeemable person, but then, goes through her trauma, her triumphs, and in the end just falls victim to the yassification of all women who live in California. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I think that one's too easy. And then if you include it to everybody, that's really only, extending it. I definitely, I want to fuck the guards at the house who wear like the wrestling outfits.
I want to I'm going to fuck.
And I'm going to marry Miss Necklace Titties so we can get matching necklace titties.
I agree with you there. I'm going to marry her. I'm going to fuck. You never even see her face. But this one woman that Meryl Streep's little boy toy is fucking.
And her booty in the mirror.
You just see a perfect butt. And that's all I really need to know.
Slay.
Yeah, so I'm going to fuck her. And I'm going to kill... Still Bruce Willis.
I'll kill Elvis.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
But he can't die, but...
Yeah, but still.
Might as well.
Yeah.
And then food and drink.
Okay. I feel like I've actually got a pretty decent one for this.
Okay, mine are kind of lame. So I feel like the liquid that they use for the everlasting life potion. Do they call it something? It's just like elixir.
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's like this purpley magenta shimmery. Yeah. And immediately came to mind is like this kind of gross looking liquor that it's like swirly and shimmery and like purple color. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's called VINIQ, Vinique.
No, no idea.
And it's like, doesn't really taste like anything. It's like a vodka fortified wine mixture or whatever that they just obviously dumped an insane amount of like artificial shit and edible glitter into it. But it's beautiful. It was really popping off when everyone was super into like unicorns. In like around, I feel like 2015, everyone like loved making fucking cupcakes look like unicorns and shit. And like unicorn cocktail. I don't know, man. But I think you just drink some of that or just create any, sort of drink that has edible glitter and a magenta color to it just to emulate the movie. Pretty lame. And then my food is like kind of sucks. But I felt like they're aging and what's something that old people eat. And then I'm like soup. But I'm like, I don't think you want just like soup. So then I'm like, can you spike soup? And then I was Googling, like, are there boozy soups? Because to me, like, a Bloody Mary is like, why couldn't you just translate that to, like, a gazpacho? Yeah. But you still just have vodka in your soup. But you're not drinking it. You eat it like soup. And then I felt like I was spiraling. So I hard pivoted. And Meryl is always in white, and her hair is white. And it just reminded me of tzatziki. So I think that you should just, like, make a tzatziki dip.
I like that. I really like that.
What about you?
So I found a cocktail because to me, also felt inclined to kind of go in the direction of like, okay, you have this elixir. But the thing that came to mind was the nasty little shit called hypnotic. And it's like, again, same idea as Vinique, like some like...
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I was originally thinking of, and then like I just Googled it and came up with a different brand.
It's like a sugary vodka, basically.
It's glittery, right?
No, it's not. It's electric blue.
Yes.
Yes.
And it almost looks like thick.
Kinda.
And
yeah, a little syrupy almost. Yeah. But so, and I found this cocktail. It's called a Sleeping Beauty cocktail, which is on brand for this movie. However, it sounds like it's one of those things, again, kind of in the basis of this movie. The ingredients are gross. The characters are gross. But I have a feeling this could actually be kind of good.
Okay, lay it on me.
Because it's just watered down with, like, Sprite. But it's hypnotic, kinky pink.
No!
Vodka.
Okay.
And then Sprite.
Oh, that's
And
awful.
mind you, it's like, I don't know if this is like for one or what, but it's 7 ounces of liquor.
And then Sprite.
And then an ounce of Sprite.
Honestly,
I think it's made for a batch, obviously, but yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But, and what I'm going to tell you to eat with this, again, very California of this movie, and it's something that I think would be good if it was missing just one key ingredient, which I think is a lot like this movie, where if Bruce Willis wasn't in it, I would like it a lot more. A Cobb salad.
We were just talking about
hard-boiled eggs and how they're disgusting
for like 45 minutes.
But a Cobb salad without a hard-boiled egg, fire.
Sure. Yeah, Bruce Willis is sort of the hard-boiled egg
of this movie.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
So I think you eat a Cobb salad. If you don't like hard-boiled eggs, don't put them in.
You could also, like, do the like, Gwen Stefani thing of it all and, like, make a sandwich, but instead of bread, use a bell pepper. Or I saw somebody called it, like, it was just, like, a hollowed-out cucumber that just then, like, had other shit in it, and they were eating it, and they called it, like, a sandwich. And I'm like, absolutely not. Yeah, you could do something, like, awful like that, too.
Yeah, just something fucked up.
And then, what do you follow this up with?
Okay. I think I'm going real hard for the themes of this movie, right? Again, a 90s movie. Again, bad special effects. Hot. Some very hot people in it. And also The Living Dead. And so I think you're going to watch The Mummy. With Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz.
Here I was 100% sure you were about to say Beetlejuice.
No.
But The Mummy also works. It's the bad CGI transition for me.
Exactly.
For sure.
Which Beetlejuice is an obvious grab.
Yeah.
I think they're both, like, in the same vein.
Campy.
Yeah, campy.
I just wish Michael Keaton had played this role.
Ugh.
That would have been better.
Yeah, that would have been really good.
Mine, I have 3 loose things in my hand. The first is that you watch an episode of a TV show called RuPaul's Drag Race, season 7, episode 6. Okay. They do a runway category called Death Becomes Her.
I love that.
And everyone's runway is like them getting, killed by some way, eaten by a shark,
Love it.
Whatever. It was great. An amazing episode overall. Then I was moving on to the Elixir. What's another, like, movie or piece of media that deals with, like, immortality through a purple misty potion, and that's the Dark Crystal. They suck the life out of people and get their essence, and the Skeksis want the essence so that they can live forever, and that's basically the same as this movie.
Nice.
But I will ultimately settle on you just watch something else that is super 90s, super campy, and instead of living forever, it's about the people who live inside of you to keep you alive, and that's Osmosis Jones.
Oh my god.
Is that the 90s, or was Osmosis Jones like the early 2000s?
I think early 2000s.
Well, it was the 90s to me because I was a baby, so I still think that you should watch Osmosis.
My 90s.
Yeah, Osmosis Jones. We're transitioning from beauty to health.
Yeah, the more important thing in life. And out of 10, what are you going to rate this movie? I'm gonna give it a 5, and that feels a little generous.
Yeah.
I wanted to like it more. There was a handful of scenes that made me giggle, but I wasn't laughing out loud. I did love the slays of both of these two actresses.
Yep.
I kind of wish it did more for me.
Same. I thought that there were like punchy lines that I liked, costumes I liked, moments I liked, but it was in between those moments that I was like, this is not grabbing me. So I will agree with you and I'll give it a 5. But the things I liked about it, I really liked about it. That's why I would almost like to see this like reworked, revamped, make it more gay, make it more dead.
Exactly. I think a lot of movies don't need a reboot, but this is one that I think could go really well. So
Jessica Chastain, if you're listening, we've got a project in mind for you. And as always, thank you all so much for listening. This has been us kicking off MAYryl Streep. If you want to guess what movies we've got lined up, or if you want to suggest, honestly, in my opinion, we've already hit the biggest heavy hitters, so we are kind of picking some MAYryl deep cuts for this month, because we've done The Devil Wears Prada in the past, as well as like Fantastic Mr. Fox, and just some of her highs. So we're going for some more interesting niche choices this month, I would say. But thank you all so much for listening. All of our links to all of our social medias are in the description below. Thank you to everyone who's been coming to our TikTok. Last week, I complained about our shadow ban for like 40 minutes. But so if you could continue to just click on stuff, like go to our TikTok and just fucking click on links and just watch them and get our views up. We have been shadow banned, and we are in the throes of trying to unshadow ban ourselves.
Dig ourselves out.
Yeah, so thank you all for clicking on stuff. It helps. And we love you all, and goodbye and good night.